Good evening and welcome back to the Newsroom with episode 81 of Weird Mind Newsroom, where of course this week as per usual we talk on the usual roundup of some of the newest releases from this week, what offerings of trailers have been given to us, and the likes of some of the news stories that we have gotten as we round down the year coming to a close. But let's not dwell on the positives, and let's head to our first section where we tack on the main headlines of the new releases from this week of all things media. Starting off, the big release project of this week is taking us to a galaxy far, far away, for one that has a bit of a more of a different aesthetic to the other series of this saga. And as a case, since they were instead about destiny and war, this one's more of an adventure with a slice of life coming of age tale, as you receive the newest series of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This series will take place after the events of episode 6 and follow a group of 4 younglings who, after discovery of a ship on their home planet, end up getting themselves stranded in the lost vast galaxies. With the help of a mysterious force user, it will help them on a grand adventure to get back home and learn to find themselves along the way. Reception to this series so far has been very well praised, with a focus on the cast, its concept, and feeling something new and different from the other Star Wars shows and films in particular, even if some complain that it feels a bit like something we've already seen before with other projects. But if you want a new space adventure, you can catch his first 2 episodes out now on Disney Plus, with a new episode releasing every single Tuesday. Our next headline news story is a bit of a weird one, so just bear with me on this. But in the realm of the past few years, when everything was stuck at home with the pandemics, we saw the rise of what would become the pandemic cinema, films and shows that were created remotely by mixed success and mixed opinion and failures. And with this new film and documentary is an example of one of them in a way that's told as odd as we are mixing the realm of classic Shakespeare with a game about stealing cars and other crimes, with the new film of Grand Theft Hamlet. So if you can tell from the title, the film is essentially about 2 UK-based actors who decide to try and put on a full recreation of the Shakespeare story of Hamlet in the world of GTA Online, and the base that it could be a complete disaster may occur, but we'll also see how big it is not to give it the best effort they can possibly give it. Now, surprisingly, this film's reception is actually very well received, with praise in the method and attempt of seeing it all come together, even with the signs of choppy headsets, cluttered screens, and even the likes of being taken out or interrupted by other players in the sessions. Now, it seems like something you would probably expect from the likes of big YouTube group GTA Funny Moments videos from about a decade ago, but it may be something that could be interesting to see. If you want to see it for yourself, you can catch this film out now in cinemas, in the sense of limited screens. And there is one other new release film that I forgot to talk about, which is the new Amy Adams film of Night Bitch, which has also garnered some decent reception and has like a deep kind of mix of a comedy horror aesthetic with like a body horror thing, but also a deep personal message about motherhood and parenthood. So if you're interested in that, you can check that one out in cinemas as well. Our main headline star of the gaming side of things, is time to fight it out and get ready to build a team to prove who is the ultimate champion. It is time to assemble, as we have received a new multiplayer battle game of Marvel Rivals. This game will see you assemble a group of heroes from the expansive Marvel Comics line and go against each other on team battles online in a battle of stakes across ever-changing battlefields, and more to prove who is the ultimate hero and who will fall in defeat. Reception of this game so far has been a bit modest at best, and while praise has been given to the character options, presentation and gameplay sides of things, as well as being free to play, the game's been hit with a little bit of balancing issues on some of the roster characters, in the case of being compared to other games in the genre side of things. But if you want to give it a go for yourself, then you can play the new title now on PC, PlayStation 5, and Series X and S. And our last new release headline is of course a bit of a mixed opinion as to whether this one will count or not, as the game had already released before, but in case this new original form was shut down, many thought this was that was it, but shortly afterwards it was brought back for a particularly new and possibly nefarious reason, as everyone's favorite Cozy Town Simulator is back on the go in your little device in your pocket, as we have returned with a new form of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete. The title will take the elements of the original game that saw you become the head focus of creating a massive societal community of a camping society of your fellow favorite villagers, and help make sure the place is running to the best it can possibly be. So the likes of which is that I can't seem to find any reviews besides the original version, which is decently received at best, but I feel there is a bit more of a negative opinion on this one, making a beloved free-to-play version now be locked behind a €10 paywall, but it could include a lot more to bring more people back. And if you're willing to fork over that amount, you can play now on all iOS and Android devices. And that's all we have on the new release section side of headlines of things. Let's head over to our trailer side and see what the department has right there for us now. So over to you. Oh, thanks that are me. Now, on the basis of trailers for this week is surprisingly really quiet, as throughout the whole thing, we've received just one trailer, and this is with a film which this trailer actually leaked online 2 weeks ago from screenings of the film of Wicked. But it's time we head to the magical world of Disney money wanting, as we have the adaptation of the film that started it all as the animated legacy the studio has been known for, as we have received the new trailer for the upcoming live-action remake of Snow White. Now, the plot for those uninitiated, the plot will follow the titular princess, in this played by Rachel Zegler, who is labelled as the fairest of them all, which has angered the evil queen, played by Gal Gadot, and wanted her killed to be the real fairest of them all. In a desperate attempt to survive, she runs off into hiding where she comes across a small cottage where 7 dwarves live, and they take care of her and keep her safe from the evil queen, and the base of this new one will rise up against her to fight back against the oppression and maybe even find true love as well along the way. So truth be told, I'm not sure if the film is focused on the similar story of the original, or if it's a mix of the original and another message with a strong, powerful message for women, but it's hard to tell at this point. But in all sense, I think that it may be watchable, I think in all regards. It's probably similar in the case of like, you know, the drama that Little Mermaid had, where this one was like drama filled because of the casting choice. I was talking about this trailer with the special person to me, and we both agree on one thing, is that the dress and hair of Snow White looks a little sort of cheap compared to the original or like fan-made ones you find on like Etsy or whatever kind of things, but I'm not sure. Maybe it might look better in the film itself. That's kind of like a case with some other films in particular. As well as likes the draw and paint on the dwarves, the visual aesthetic looks fine, but also kind of unsettling as well. I felt maybe they should have hired actors that would fit the bill of them more instead of just going full CGI. But in all honesty, for the time being, I'll give this a chance, and maybe me and special person can go see it and make our own thoughts on it. But I guess we'll see how it all comes together when the film releases in the cinemas from March 21st of next year. And that's everything we have on the trailer side of things, so now we're heading over to the news side to see what they have on that end of things. Oh, thank you for introducing me there. So it's another week of very quiet news stories, and looking for some topics has been a bit of a difficult form, but in terms of this one, we have the usual focus of the casting news. And the basis of this, it doesn't have a story relating to the new Nolan film for once, which is a surprise because I expected we were going to get another one this week. Instead, all of these news stories for this one section is to do with a project that I did talk on a couple weeks ago, and this is the mixed divide over the upcoming TV series adaptation of the popular book series of Harry Potter. Now, on the basis of these stories, is all to do with the likes of rumors for the time being, and the likes I am not delving too deep into my own thoughts as reboot, as I've already discussed it previously, so now I'll probably just give a focus on these rumored castings just for the time being. That has struck the opinion discourse online, in particular with one of the castings. So initially it was a focus for 3 groups, but one I can't finalize on yet is with the casting and additions of the main trio of kids. As was mentioned that besides the series starting to film some point in the summer of 2025, they had apparently auditioned over 32,000 kids in the age range of 9 to 11 for the roles of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Maybe some of the others like, you know, Draco Malfoy, Neville, Fred and George, and all other stuff, and many others, but since it is not finalized, we will focus on the ones that have seen some rumored casting over the last day or so, and this is the first one is the rumored casting for both Dumbledore and Professor Snape. And there was one other one that came in as I was writing this, which was about Hagrid. Now, the Dumbledore one is a new casting rumor, as we had one a few weeks ago in the form of Oscar-winning actor Mark Rylance. Now it looks like there is another rumored name that could be finalized, and that's with the actor of Mark Strong, who you may know for films such as Shazam, the Kingsman movies as Merlin, or the RDJ Sherlock movies, Dune Prophecy, and many more concepts. Now, I like Strong as an actor, and he can do well with a role, but I'm not sure if I can see him as the headmaster wizard, but maybe more as a different professor. But it's hard to tell right now, but I think if it's not the headmaster, another professor will work out. Or even in case I can see him as like a Lucius Malfoy thing, I don't know. But as on the second casting is the one that is the biggest discussion point. Now is the rumored case that British actor of Papa Isidou will be, who you may know for the likes of The Lazarus Project, The Outrun, and Gangs of London, is reportedly being eyed to play the role of Professor Snape, who was initially played by the late Alan Rickman, and this one has seen a bit of the most heavy discussion online of wondering why the sudden change of casting someone of colour to play this character, when it's been a case he's been, you know, equivalency of like mainly a lot of white characters, and also equivalent of being part of a wizard version of this certain group from the 1940s, and likes the weird choices that feel a weird decision for these characters. Now, like in all sense, I can also see him play some other characters in this series much more, but I can also give them a chance to do so as well, that they could be really great, but still some odd selection for the casting. and I think people were hoping for more of like an Adam Driver playing the role in this regards, but it's not finalized yet, so we'll have to see how this all comes about in due time. And as I mentioned, there was one other one that came in as I was writing this earlier today, and this is with the likes of the rumor for another casting. This is with Ted Lasso star Brett Goldstein reportedly being eyed for the role of Rubeus Hagrid. So just to give a quick idea, this one might not be too bad, will be heavily compared to like the late Robbie Coltrane, but he looks like he could be a decent choice. But again, we'll have to see how this comes about. It's just a case where I still bring the issue that the original films are still kind of so recent and kind of like cult favorites, even if a few of them are over 20 years old at this point. But it just feels like we don't need this yet, or in general. But I guess this is what the people of Warner Bros. Will do for milking some of their IPs dry as kind of much as they can. It just seems to be the case at this point. But besides my ramblings and going too deep into this thing, what do you think of these choices, and who would you cast for this series as professors and the villains in particular, and all other characters? Or are you even excited for this TV reboot in general, or do you feel this is unnecessary? Let me know what your thoughts and opinions and choices are down below, and we can discuss them down there. And this last story I will be keeping brief, as in the case we do not have too much of information on this one for the moment, and the concept seems like it can either work out or be a complete disaster. Now, it's a common trope of a series of shows in general that a lot we've seen on TV in the most likely locations you will find a show being based on is within the area of the emergency services, or connected to it the likes of the police or firefighters. But I think the one that sees a whole lot more of it is with the element of ones taking place in the emergency rooms for shows like ER, House MD, Grey's Anatomy, Chicago Med, and a fair few more. And the story in particular focused on one that was more of a comedy-based series from the 2000s that had appealed back in the day that did falter with its final season. This is of course the show of Scrubs, and it had been a wonder for many fans if we would see like a revival or continuation of the series in some form down the line after it wrapped up in 2010. And from discussion from this week, it may just be that, as on Thursday it was announced that the original series creator of Bill Lawrence is possibly working on a revival of his original series of Scrubs, but may not be a full showrunner but an executive producer or something on the show. Now, it's also unclear as of right now if any of the original cast from the series, whether the original cast in the first 8 seasons or the new fresh faces from the often criticized final season, but it seems they mentioned that they would be up for revival if the original creator was on board. Now, so it's a case I think that it could be interesting to see how the medical team of Sacred Heart Hospital has been up to for the last decade, but it also becomes a case of if it would appeal to the public with the oversaturation of shows based in medical fields and hospitals, and the appeal of a good story and comedy, as a lot of revivals tend to be a little hit or miss and don't often last long, like the case of the recent How I Met Your Father series or that nanny shows, both being cancelled after about 1 or 2 seasons. But who's to say that it could actually turn out a lot more successful, and maybe could have a sense of finding the right audience for the sense of nostalgia purposes, and also newcomers that want a little less serious in their medical series. But I guess at the moment, only time will tell. But in that regards things, I want to know what you think. Would you be interested in a revival of the Scrubs television series, and do you see the original cast all coming back in some form as well? Let me know what you think of this all down below in our comment section, and that's where we have all of our news stories for this week. Now heading back to our main headlines group for the conclusion start of the story. Thank you for bringing us back to the main headline roundup of the week. And this of course brings us to the end of episode 81 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings for another week in particular, and probably a short one that. Now, let's delve into some updates on what we can expect from this channel in particular. So on the basis, we start with reviews. At the moment I have filmed and recorded the newest review, which is of course Deadpool and Wolverine. I have been just kind of teetering away at some of the aspects of it. I just have to get some bits of the inner monologue stuff done, the basis of where I'm finding my brain for the entire thing. So if it looks like points where I'm just completely staring into space and looking completely out of it, or fucking having weird moments of things, that's just me basically doing the sense where the brain is talking to me and butting in on the quotes, where I start to like talk nonsense and stuff. But that should be coming hopefully by tomorrow. By the time this episode goes up, I should have it out. Or probably a day or two after. Well, we'll see. Then in case instance, the robot double feature will be coming along as well as some more festive ones in particular over the next little while. I've just been focusing on one particular long form one for the last few days to try and get that done by then. But a lot more reviews will be coming, hopefully try and get a few done by the end of this year. Next, in the case of gameplays. So in the basis you might have seen, I did upload a Hogwarts Legacy video, which was the first of 3 parts for an epilogue part. I'm going to upload the second, I'm going to transfer the second part over maybe tonight and have that ready to go for tomorrow, maybe a case, or probably the start of next week, as well as a case I'm going to try and get some recording done maybe tomorrow or some point during the week, maybe sort of early-ish, and get the Left Behind DLC done for Last of Us, as well as maybe something with Mario Wonder and Cyberpunk down the line. That's the case of just figure it out. It's really a case of just finding the time and finding energy, because I am very tired most of the weeks. So just bear with me in that regards. And on the basis of the long form stuff, which includes the AI video, the rewatchathons, and other long form stuff, we do have one long form video coming out next week, which is hopefully up by Thursday, which is of course my predictions for the Game Awards, as well as giving my thoughts on some other bits about like things that I hope they fix for this new one, as well as my predictions of what might be shown off this week. Hoping for a few different big surprises in all regards of things as well. But in the case in this well of Rewatchathon and the AI videos, I'm going to find a time to, watch them and sort them out and write out the bits as well in particular. It's just a bit of a process and trying to find the energy to do it, as well as getting some insights from one or two sources and things, a bit like, their thoughts on some things as well. So just bear with those. Those should be coming along soon enough as well. So thank you for your patience. Or if it don't really matter, but it's that kind of case. But anyways, I think in that regards, I think we should leave it all there. I believe in that regards, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and of course, if you like what you see here and want to see more from me, and more frequently, more content in particular, then simply like and subscribe, as I upload new stuff every single week, and I'm hoping to reach by the end of this month, by reaching the goal of 100 subs by 2025. We're at 94 now, so I thank for all those who actually did subscribe to me recently, and I appreciate all those who have been around with me since day one. I know in particular, I appreciate you all in the case. And hopefully we get at least 6 more subscribers by the end of this year. So fingers crossed that we do that. And maybe some big things at the start of next year. We'll see with that regards. But let me know as well of all the thoughts of everything that was discussed this week. I know it's sort of a short stuff, but like thoughts on all the new releases, your thoughts on the single trailer, as well as the news stories in particular. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything. Let's have a civil discussion down below in the comments. But I think with all that, I think we'll leave it there. So, as always, you all stay being wonderful people and have a great day every day doing many great things, and of course to keep being you because no one else can do what you do. I've of course been your host Sam, and of course remember to like and subscribe, stay being awesome, and of course, with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. So take care, and I'll see you later.